it's easy to stream from straight from Zoom.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Vays, on location at Understanding Bitcoin. Let me zoom in the camera. Hold on. Now it's going to work. Yeah, there it is. There are the badges. And you can see the screen behind me. I'm going to zoom this out so you can see the banners and stuff. We're gonna. How you guys like it? You guys, I was like afraid these guys were coming from like the Americas, right? Like the American continent, and I'm like, man, I hope they don't waste their trip all the way out to the Middle East. But it's great. I loved yesterday.
Yeah, I think yesterday was good. We had a good session, we had a bunch of good sessions yesterday, just teaching people about self-custody and just talking about Bitcoin and various things. There was a mining panel, and we had self-custody panel, and sessions ran a few good ones as well. So I thought it was a really good opportunity just to get in a bit more in detail about things compared to what
this is a perfect event for what you do, man. This is like right in Ben Sessions' wheelhouse.
The lightning stuff in the morning was a lot of fun. It was really cool to get some hands on, and I think there were a handful of people that never used Lightning whatsoever, so we got them getting their first sats via Lightning and seeing kind of how that you can interoperate. We talked a lot about the differences between custodial, non-custodial, and actually running a node. Just a ton of awesome stuff, and people here are awesome, and the location. I've been peeking around the Atlantis here, and it's awesome. It's great.
All right, very cool. Anything else you guys want to talk about? You guys gotta follow. If you don't follow these two sessions, you can follow on YouTube. Is yours on YouTube? Or it's only audio.
Yeah, if you search Stefan Libera, you'll see. I'm starting to do some video.
You're starting to do some video. All right, cool. Yeah, we're gonna go over to screen share. Actually, we'll wait. One more thing before we go to screen share. I'm gonna zoom this in one more time. Boom. Check out our coffee cups. I'm gonna show a sponsor right there, Embly. They got their logo right there in the back. So they're our coffee sponsor for the event. And one more, we got two more. We got the Jade wallets. We gave everybody a Jade wallet. Samson was here, brought us some extra, and Ben was teaching people how to use it and set it up. And finally, we have the Embly. And later today, I don't know if you Embassy from
Start 9.
It's early. Embassy from Start 9. You can see the Embassy logo right there. Your personal server. You guys know Bitcoin Mechanic on my channel all the time. He's sitting right there in front of me. He's going to be doing a demo and educating on this bad boy. All right. So so everyone wants to know about the price. All right. So we're gonna go screen share. But first, I'm gonna open up a YouTube channel. Thank you so much for breaking the 1,000 subscribers for Understanding Bitcoin. That's really important. All of these videos from yesterday and today are gonna go onto this channel. It will probably take a week or two. I want to get them edited. You can see the awesome screen and the picture behind me. It's gonna be really, really cool. If you go to Bitcoin Mechanics channel, we're trying to get him to 1,000 subs. He's only at 800. Please follow that channel. This way, if his channel is ever banned after 1,000 subs, he gets a human person to. All right, and I'm gonna search. Oh wait, sessions right there, right at the top of my list.
Yeah, there we go.
Definitely follow his. How often do you do videos, man?
5 days a week now.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's good.
You're getting good people on your like Friday night.
Oh, the Friday though, you got to come on there. It's just the time zones are so difficult, right?
It'll be because when I'm on the West Coast, man, I'll definitely do it because like when you do it like it's a Friday night. If I'm on the East Coast on a Friday night at like 6, 7 p.m. I'm like, come on, man. Not all of us are married with kids.
Yeah, that's my core audience, right?
Yeah.
All at home.
Like,
hey, watch the kids for a bit. I just gotta go see this.
Making me stay home at like a 7 p.m. on a Friday to the podcast.
That's how I get
what
my
he looks
viewership.
forward to. You know, Tony's looking forward to going on your show.
This is it's what Bitcoiners want. They're like, I want to chill out with other Bitcoiners on a Friday night and talk about Bitcoin
and chill. You know?
So they get to just hang out and do that in the live chat, right?
All right, and then we gotta find your channel. You just subscribe.
Yeah.
It's always dangerous to click on like a search menu. Yeah. Like you have no idea on a live stream. You have no idea what's gonna show up.
PHAN LFP.
There you are.
I think I got like 7K on YouTube, but to be honest, most of my listeners are on my
Yeah.
So you can see I've got some video stuff on there now.
All right, do exactly what I
Yeah.
did. Subscribe
Yep.
and even hit the bell too.
Nice.
Well, how often do you don't
Probably
use
2 a
YouTube?
week.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
kind of,
that's better.
yeah.
All right, there you go. All right, guys, let's glam. We did a whole Simon from Mempool. Soft Simon did a whole presentation on understanding the mempool here. It's been really good. Let's look at the price. Price is pumping. We have the weekly chart. The weekly chart gave us a green star candle right there. And the room just got quiet.
Yeah.
Like the moment we do have some people. I mean, we're supposed to start in 10 minutes, but like everyone's like chatting. No one actually understands price. Like the whole room got silent. Yeah, we got people to the right and to the left of us waiting to start the show for the day. Look, we got the weekly chart, and it's great that the CMF, like I mentioned last time, it is at a very good level. The last time the CMF reached this level, we went up like 50% or 100%. Went from even more than 100%. So this is a good rally. I was just talking to a mechanic this morning about like people are thinking about selling like in high 60s, low 70s, and my answer is it depends on when. Like if we are hitting those levels, if we are hitting mid to high 60s next week, it probably is a decent time to take your profit for a pullback because it would have gone up way too far, way too quickly. We are 3 weeks ago, the price was half of what it is today. We are up 44% in 3 weeks. If you add a few more days, we're up 50%. So we are rising fairly quickly, and there will be a pullback. The daily chart will probably have a nice view with my arrows. But right now, the weekly chart is fully bullish. You have room. You still have room even on the RSI. You certainly have ridiculous amount of room on the MACD, and CMF looks very bullish. The weekly chart is fully bullish. We have the price above all 3 moving averages. They're all rising. There's really nothing I can say other than, just keep riding the wave towards the moon here. Let me see what the lower level time frames say, if these charts are all updated. Yep, we are at, that can't possibly be right. Are we only at 57.6?
No.
Weren't we like at 59 something?
I don't think that's right.
I think it was 59.
Yeah, these aren't right. I'm gonna try to update them. 59.8.
Yeah, 59.8.
Oh boy, maybe I should restart my computer because sometimes this doesn't update. Oh boy.
Yeah, we're almost 60.
So my weekly chart is accurate. It's at 59.3, accurate enough. But my other time frames, I don't know why this happens sometimes. Sorry, guys.
If all else fails, just pull up Michael J. Burry, and he's probably got a pretty good head and shoulders chart that's sitting there. That's might look pretty solid.
All right, so what do I do here? I don't want to restart my computer because I'm in the middle of a live stream. My thing doesn't seem to be updating. I don't want to connect to the hotel Wi-Fi. I'm on my own international SIM. And I can try and kill the browser and restart the browser. Let me do that. Let me try that. I'm gonna let these guys chat away. They both know how to do a podcast.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna do some text. So I'm gonna cut the screen share.
So, yeah.
Guys, I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Let's
I think
talk
it was
to each other.
interesting. What I found interesting was a lot of people have heard about Bitcoin and they might know some of the high level concepts, but then when it comes to actually doing it in practice, it's a whole new world, right? Like learning how to, like, for example, the Lightning demonstrations yesterday, a lot of people knew of Lightning, but had never used it, right?
Yeah. And it's a lot of the time it's just a symptom of getting that little push to try. A lot of things seem so intimidating until you actually just get your hands dirty, right? Like it's and that's kind of why I do some of the tutorials. Is a lot of people all they need is just a tiny bit of hand holding,
just to see what it looks like and be like, oh, this is what it's like when you scan the QR and you pay it, or you whatever.
This is how I create an invoice. This is how I even get Bitcoin onto the Lightning Network. And a lot of people aren't familiar with those things. It's actually pretty easy when you start dipping around. Like there's some options that you can just jump into. I think Tone's got his
but it'll take me another minute.
So what I found, as well, is like a lot of people just like haven't even sent a Bitcoin transaction, right? Like that's actually you would think it's Bitcoin and everyone should be but like I remember when I was starting in like 2013 and whatever, it was like you withdraw from the exchange, and that was just what you do. So
I think it's a necessary action to have conviction. If you're trading Bitcoin and you own Bitcoin, you want having a good deep understanding of what you own. And if you've never actually utilized Bitcoin at the base layer and utilized subsequent layers on top of it and learned how to secure your own Bitcoin, how are you going to have any sort of conviction when things get choppy, right?
Exactly.
If you want to hold it long term, you want to know how it works. You want to know, oh, this network, you actually can't screw with it because you can actually run your own node and nobody can force you to change the software that you're running. And when you actually see and participate in those things, then chopping the price and the ups and downs that come with Bitcoin become a lot easier to bear because you understand what's backing it.
Right.
And speaking of nodes, I also said on my podcast with Jimmy, and I'm like, Jimmy, you're not going to like this opinion, but I said understanding the importance of running a node is more important than actually running one. It may sound weird because the purists will say, no, you're not validating your own transactions, and but if you understand why you need to run a node, you will never be a shitcoiner.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing. It's not important that, like, yes, I highly encourage that everybody go out and run a node, but some people just won't. And that's fine because not everybody needs to, but it's important that everybody can. That's one of the most important things. And that's what Bitcoin is for, is so that when push comes to shove and, governments are kicking in the door and trying to get your Bitcoin and trying to shut down the network, they just can't.
Right. So I think the other point as well, and like I think you're right that the important part is that anyone can. I think the other point is people think it's all about running those Raspberry Pis and it's got to be an always on node. But that's not even true. Also, you can just run, for example, Spectre Desktop on the default setup. It will catch up to the chain, right? If you need it. So you can just kind of turn it back on, resync the chain, and do your transactions and then turn it off again. So you can actually turn it off and on and just kind of have it there, but just not necessarily sync it up fully all the time, 24/7. Just sync it up when you need it, even if that's once a month or once every week or whatever.
Yeah, like if you're sitting at home right now and you're like, I've never run a full Bitcoin node before, you can literally download Bitcoin Core. You can even set it to pruned, which means it only takes up like maybe 2 gigabytes of space.
Or something,
and then you can, what Safan was talking about, you can download Spectre, and that wallet defaults to find your copy of Bitcoin Core and refers to it.
And the newer versions actually have Bitcoin Core built in. As in, it auto packages Bitcoin Core and automatically packages in the pruning aspect. You'll be up and running in like 20 or 30 minutes. If you've got a decent internet, it will literally download it. Now, to be clear, there's certain trust assumptions with that. It uses like a certain trusted snapshot, and then it will catch up to the chain. And then boom, you're up and running, and it can package in Bitcoin Core already inside it. So that's also a really easy way, because you can run Spectre and then plug in your Trezor, your Ledger, your Cold Card or whatever, and you're off you're going.
I'm gonna have to try that because I just got fiber internet.
Right. So that'll be super fun. So you can literally set up in a few minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk price again. So here's the weekly chart is now updated, but the weekly chart was close to what it actually was on my screen. Just a little bit higher at 59.9. We're about to watch the break of 60K. It'd be awesome if Bitcoin goes to a new all-time high while we are doing this event here behind me. The 4-day chart remains fully bullish. Like, I don't see a need to take profit unless you actually see a little bit of a drop. Just let your profits run. I have no problem with that. Unless we are hitting an MRI top, which we are not. And the 4-day chart, I don't really pay much attention to that. So the 4-day chart stays bullish. Joe Saz certainly owes me a nice steak. Daily chart, look, we are right on track for what I anticipated in the daily outlook where we top out at approximately $62,000 at the end of this week or early next week. October 19th is where I was looking for that top. So we got about 3 to 4 days to go, especially if we keep going up and up and up. Like the faster we go up in the next 4 to 5 days, the higher the probability that there's going to be a pullback. This pullback, I would anticipate at the low end, the pullback would come back to around $53,000, $54,000. Okay. Well, sorry, on the high end of the pullback. The low end of the pullback could be a little bit further. Also, this moving average, the 50 period, is rising very nicely. The 128 is going to cross the 200 sooner than later. That creates all kinds of support. Bitcoin is looking great. I'm still thinking mid 60s for a double top with April, a pullback to maybe mid 50s. And then I still got a shot at being right about that 100K at the end of the year. So I'm still optimistic for that. Early next year or late this year to break 100K is still on pace. Looking at the funding rate, even though I need to update this indicator, still looking great. Still looking good for the bulls. People are still skeptical of this run. MACD is a little bit high. RSI is a little bit high, but that's fine. Volume hasn't even come back yet. So we're doing good. I'm going to wait on that Willie Woo's newsletter coming up. You guys read that?
From time to time.
Not as often. Yeah.
So I got on. I'm like, hey Willie, I can help you proofread this. I don't mind getting
sure it's
it.
great.
I don't mind getting an extra 2-hour heads up.
I'm sure it's great. I just it's when you're creating in the space, it's hard to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you see.
It
that
really
a lot.
is. Yeah. If
You make a lot of material.
if you're a content creator in a space, because you don't realize how many people just think they can get your attention, and you get so many emails. It's hard. A lot of people burn out. A lot of people burn out. I have no idea how Joe Rogan does it, but he's got a good team around him. Anyway, short-term chart, we rallied beautifully off the moving average on the 1-hour chart, and we're at a new high, so we can keep going a little bit higher. Quick peek at the 4-hour. Looking bullish as well. Like this pop this morning, well, early morning for us here in the Middle East, it's reset everything. Like every single time frame is going to be bullish right now. So I am looking at higher prices. I do think we're going to break 60 today. Should be good. GBTC still has a ridiculously low premium, which is very interesting. News of the ETF. It's just news, guys. I do think it can drive the market a little bit higher, but I don't actually see an ETF anytime soon. So eventually it's gonna pull back. This is why I'm thinking we're gonna go back down into the 50s, like the mid to low 50s. And MRI top on Bitcoin dominance. Shitcoins went up for a few days, and now it's probably over, and Bitcoin is gonna go back up. Gold had a little bit of a pop, but like I said, I needed to break the prior swing high. I still think gold has a shot at a new all-time high this year as well. I'm still bullish gold for the end of the year. I remain bullish on oil. Oil's been one of my main assets that I've been more bullish on. I was actually, like a few weeks ago, I was like checking, should I have been 100% invested in oil instead of Bitcoin? Because oil's been on a monster tear. 70% since January. So it's oil's been a pretty good, and lately it's just been on a tear. I think oil's going over $100.